Hey, what's up, everyone? Joe and Parisa Tabriz here
Hello.
with me at the Chrome Summit here in New York City. And welcome to our new show that we're doing called Chrome Dino and Donuts.
So excited. A little bit nervous, but excited to dig into the questions and the donuts.
This is Hot One style. Each of these are going to get progressively hotter as we go here. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. They're
More
not
sugary,
like that.
more fried.
Yeah, more sugary. Yeah,
More fried,
exactly.
yeah.
So
Cool.
we do have some donuts here that we got from the stand up at this awesome conference that's going on here. This is our first time here at this event, and we just wanted to take a couple minutes and ask you a few questions.
Cool.
So let's dive right in.
Awesome.
Okay. So you lead globally the team that's responsible for the world's most popular web browser, Google Chrome. What's the coolest part of your job?
I have lots of cool things that are part of my job, and I've been in Chrome for 10 years, but I would say like the one constant over that time is just all the awesome people I get to work with. And we have offices around the world and people that are like brilliant engineers and designers and product leads and marketing and legal, and I just feel like really lucky to work with all those awesome people. And then for me, like I got into coding first via web development, like learning HTML and JavaScript, and this was like a long time ago, but it's also just awesome to kind of be a part of pushing the web as a platform forward and seeing how that's changed kind of over the past 16 years. It's our Sweet 16 for Chrome this year, and also like how we're building kind of in the future. And so it's awesome to be part of that journey.
I love it. All right, well, let's dive into our first donut here. I think I'm going to go with the sprinkle one. How's that sound for you?
We're both sprinkling together?
I think we should both sprinkle. Let's go with the sprinkle. Okay.
That's bold to go first, but let's go with sprinkles.
We're going to start with the...
Do we cheers?
I think we should cheers.
Okay, let's cheers.
Cheers to Chrome.
Cheers to Chrome and Chrome donuts.
Not bad. I think these were, made here in New York City. I heard.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps.
That's like some fresh fry right there.
So today's event is all focused on enterprise. So we want to obviously focus on that a little bit for this conversation.
Yep.
We spent a lot of time going through and seeing all of these different applications of Chrome and how it's getting applied through Chrome OS and through Chrome Enterprise Premium through the browser. So for the Chrome Enterprise browser market specifically, how has that evolved over the last few years, and where do you think it's heading?
Well, because I've been on sort of the journey with Chrome. First, I think it's cool to see how the web has evolved from like document publishing to kind of this really capable app platform. And one of the things that we hear, and you tell me if it resonates too, is like most people are spending most of their time inside of a browser at work, especially on like a desktop form factor. It's definitely the case at Google, but in a lot of ways, the browser has become like the new operating system on top of the operating system. Whether you're using Chrome OS, which is like my daily laptop, or Windows or Mac OS, you're really spending majority of time in the browser. So it's made it so that the browser has become like the new endpoint for a lot of enterprises, and that's the place where your employees are doing all of their work. It's a place where potentially they're seeing threats or kind of navigating risks. And so for IT and security teams, it's like the kind of best place to either address those threats or really ensure like a highly productive workforce. So we've seen the browser become the new endpoint. And then definitely since the pandemic, but over the past couple of years, we've also just seen, I think, the work environment get more complex with like hybrid or remote work, or people bringing their own personal devices, and typically people
trying to manage all of that.
Totally. So management's gotten harder, but more and more of someone's workday is in the browser. And I think that's really led to where there's been a lot more focus on enterprise browsers. And we've been investing in enterprise for a long time, but you're even seeing kind of some of these enterprise-specific browsers pop up as well, and just more interest from IT and security teams, especially on like what is our browser. Browsers become like central to our IT strategy. So how do we compare and compete? And I think our strength in sort of like user experience and security has made it a really good fit. And we're a popular browser, so it's like the browser people use at home, and that makes it easy for them to use at work too.
Right. So today at the summit, there were some new features announced, right?
Yeah.
So tell folks a little bit about some of the new features that were announced today at the Chrome Summit.
Yeah, cool. So we launched a bunch of things across browser and OS. Some of the ones that I'm excited about are kind of a response to customer feedback. So one, we know that lots of enterprise, end users, they want extensions, and they're using them for like productivity or other things to kind of customize their browser. IT and security teams, they want to allow for extensions and their employees to be happy to use them, but also have to manage risk with extensions. And so we launched a couple things there. One is a customized web store for enterprise organizations, so they can really just store all the recommended extensions that they want to support in their organization.
Very
and
cool.
Users can just see that web store. So we also launched increased visibility and telemetry for IT teams into kind of the extensions that an organization uses.
Right.
And they use this for reporting and just kind of overall assessing and managing risk.
Right.
We are doing a lot with AI, and I think for AI, you both have like, how do you support the IT teams that have to have controls or governance for new AI features,
right.
Especially as these things are being experimented, prototyped, but also how can we use AI to help IT teams? And so we launched both a way to bring more flexibility to kind of policies for IT teams to manage capabilities of AI, and then also are using AI to make common workflows easier in the Google admin console. So like in one click, you can set a policy for your organization, or you can use natural language to search within the admin console. And so those are a couple of the things, more advanced security features and integrations as well. I could go on and on, but
there was a bunch.
There was a bunch, but actually, like, I got distracted by the donuts. And
the donuts are just calling my name again.
Yes.
I think we'll have to dive into another donut. Yeah, there was one demo station upstairs that was just showing the kind of like the AI snippets up top in the admin console.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And you've got maybe this one IT admin who's managing all of these devices and using AI in this way to find and make that person's job a little easier, right? And find these problems. Oh, well, this device is actually running a little low on whatever, and you can go in and find those. So, okay, let's dive into one more donut.
Cinnamon.
I don't even know.
I think this is
You're going cinnamon. Okay, let's go cinnamon.
All right.
Cheers one more time.
Cheers.
Boom. I'm in on the cinnamon over the
It was more subtle.
Yeah, that's a much better donut.
Yeah.
It's a much better donut. All right. Let's dive into some security, because I've heard that you've got a bit of a background in security.
I do.
And so even though you kind of oversee all aspects of the browser now, security in that part of the browser is still so important to so many users, especially enterprise.
Yeah.
So like, how is security influencing Chrome and the direction that Chrome is going?
Yeah, so I worked on security for about 10 years at Google. A little bit before then, I actually started in IT too, and so I think that's given me just like a ton of empathy for actually the challenge of that job, and in some ways that the technology has improved to actually mitigate risks, but also like the attackers have advanced their techniques too, and so it's sort of like this ongoing challenge. So started in IT and then moved to product security, came to Chrome to lead the security team, but in part I was attracted to the product because they really thought of security at like every single layer in a very integrated way, as opposed to kind of like, okay, security is a checklist at the end. So that's what attracted me to the product, and now I've been in the team for 10 years. I think security, it really is, when done well, you need a multi-pronged strategy, and it's integrated into kind of all aspects of the product development process. And so I was close to that, but as I stepped away from security, you sort of see the trade-off space more with performance and simplicity. But ultimately, Chrome is in so many ways the way people experience the internet. And one of the most important things we do is keeping them safe and not making them have to do much to actually stay safe, because they have other things to do. And I've been proud of sort of like, auto updates and sandboxing, and how we've pushed the web forward with driving HTTPS over time, and the team's kind of commitment to both doing some of the day-to-day grungy critical hygiene work that keeps it safe, but also always investing in innovation. Security is still a really core part of Chrome, so I don't think it's changed so much over time, but I probably have more empathy for performance and simplicity and that trade-off space, because it's really easy to say you make something safe and fast and simple, and it's much harder to do in practice in a way that like builds a product that just has a great user experience. And so it's still very much part of the day, even though I have people that are like smarter and closer to the details, but it's one of the things that makes me proud. And for enterprise, it's so important. We know it's really top of mind for enterprise, and so which is kind of pushes us to always improve.
Yeah. You mentioned maybe some of the other core areas outside of security. What are some of those other core pillars of Chrome that you all are working on?
Yeah, so since Chrome started, we had our core principles. We actually call them the 4 S's, but security, we already talked about that, speed, simplicity, and stability. And speed is probably self-explanatory, but like we want the browser to be fast. Again, easier said than done. And if you're wanting to build Chrome for kind of a low-end phone, that's different than if you're building it for like a beefy Chromebook or PC. And so how do we really use resource management to build something that's capable and powerful and fast? So that's speed. Stability is maybe the other one. Like you don't want your browser to crash. I think, again, easier said than done. And I remember growing up on the web, and you open the wrong tab and your whole machine, like browser crashes, lose the work, or worse, like your OS is hosed. So stability is another core principle. And then simplicity, because we really want people to be able to focus on just their work and the content, not like a dashboard of a million options and buttons. And so how do we make the user experience great so that people can focus on their work and not browser knobs?
And
so we think about that in all that we do, and also then focus on like common user journeys, whether it's finding information, getting work done. I don't know how many tabs you have or use, but
so too many.
You're a tab
Way
hoarder?
too many.
Yeah. So like, how do we make it like easier to manage and just in general like boost your productivity, whether you're working across apps or doing video conferencing or editing or coding in the browser, because there's so much browser-based activity right now, and really try to think of like, what are the things people are doing and how do we make it easier and simple?
Yeah, I love it. Let's dive into one more donut before we get to our last question.
What do we have left?
I think there was some sort of apple something. I think it's maybe this one.
Apple cider?
I think that one there. Let's just try them and see what we get here.
All right. I taste a little bit of apple.
I don't know that I got an apple. I think maybe a little bit of apple in there.
It might be a placebo, and I would
Thank you so much for joining today. We've got one more question, and this one, might be a little hard for you to answer, but I'll let you give a few answers maybe.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite? I'll say some of your favorite features in Chrome right now.
Oh, that is hard. Favorite features in Chrome right now. Well, thank you for giving me multiple answers.
Yeah, to say your favorite, I can't do that to you. It's not fair.
I'll say the top 3 that come to mind.
Okay.
Favorite, most recent new feature is we built Lens, Google Lens, into Chrome. And so Lens
absolutely love it.
Allows you to search what you see. Awesome. I'm glad you're using it. It's like new, so we're still trying to improve quality and understand what people are using it for. But I've used it in I want to shop for something and I'm like, oh, I like that jacket, and where do I find it, like in a picture? So we've been seeing a lot of people using Lens to shop, for school. We actually see a lot of good use case there, but that's one feature. And it's using Google's latest AI models and just very cool image recognition tech, but you don't need to know any of that because it just works in the browser.
It just works, yeah. Yep.
I flew out to New York yesterday and Wi-Fi was not working. I was sitting next to a kid, and there's a hidden, not everyone knows about this, but there's a hidden offline dino game. And I showed this kid next to me and was playing with him. And it's actually like one of the most popular games if you run into, Wi-Fi issues. But that's a favorite feature because it's just a fun Easter egg. And offline dyno is sort of a kind of a motto for the team. Have you played it before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll
we
play.
have
We'll play later.
We have a figurine in the office, and we've named him Dan the Dino.
Oh, awesome.
So he's a fixture
Awesome.
of the Chrome Box office.
Awesome. Okay, it's harder on your phone, but you can play it on your phone too.
Yeah.
That's 2. And then I think the third one, it's not a feature, but the thing that I'm like maybe most proud of and that I hear often from people is like, it just works. Like Chrome just works. And I don't have to, again, worry about crashes or, I don't know, this weird thing about like, will I get hacked or will, the software get hacked? But the fact that it just works. We bring features in I think a sort of humble, modest way. Autofill saves me a ton of time, and that's not a thing that you have to like go and manage and configure.
Right.
But it just kind of works, and where we can remove those little hard edges of browsing is where we think we're doing our best work. And so, just high quality product that works is what I'm proud of.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking some time
Thanks.
out of the busy schedule that I'm sure you've got during the Chrome Summit. I hope you enjoyed some donuts.
Totally. Keep it going.
This is our new show.
Series, exactly.
You're the first guest.
Very proud to be a first guest.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks.
So I saw something on LinkedIn that I thought was interesting. This is just a bonus question for anybody who's stuck around here. I'm pretty sure your LinkedIn says security princess, is that?
Yes, I think it does.
Are you
I
the
haven't
security
updated in a while,
princess?
but well, I am the self-appointed security
Okay.
princess. So to the extent you can self-appoint yourself that. But yeah, I was an intern at Google in our central security team of like hired hackers that kind of were working together just to make Google's products safer. And then I joined and as a full-time engineer, and some of my colleagues were like, hey, we're going to an industry conference in Japan. I'd never been to a conference outside of the US, and they said you have to get business cards, and I never had business cards. Google's my first real job. And but in Tokyo or Japan in general, like really expectation. Have you ever been there?
I have not.
You
would love to go.
You need a business card, and when you meet in a professional setting, you exchange business cards. It's a thing. So anyways, we had an internal kind of tool to get business cards printed, and my title was Information Security Engineer in the Information Security Engineering team. And this was like 17 years ago, so it wasn't as common of a term, and it just felt like a lot of words. And so I changed it to Security Princess totally as a joke, because I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And anyways, I got business cards that way, and I thought it'd be kind of like a nice icebreaker if people saw it, and they'd be like, what? And it worked, and it kind of just stuck. And I meant it as like in a really ironic way, because I'm not very princessy, at least stereotypically, but it's been really cool because like over time, we still have to improve, a lot of room to improve like representation in tech and cybersecurity.
Sure.
But over time, colleagues or dads have been like, oh, it's so awesome to have like a princess that's an engineer and not just Disney princesses. So I kind of love it.
I absolutely
I've kept
love it. Fun little tidbit.